epic music! Hey, it's Katie, and today I'm counting down my top 5 favorite epic medieval soundtracks. So I listen to a lot of epic music. I love soundtrack music, especially if it's from a medieval movie or video game or television show. I just love epic music. It's hard to describe, but it gives you that feeling. You could go do anything. I think epic music can get you through even like the worst days. For me, if I'm feeling sad or if I'm having a bad day or I need to get pumped up or even just want to get motivated, I put on some epic music and I'm ready to go. Like, I just love epic music. It really motivates me. Now, there are a ton of epic medieval soundtracks, but today I'm just gonna count down 5 of my favorites right now that I've been listening to, and I'm just like, these are so good. I have to share with everybody. So, starting our countdown at number 5 is Xena Warrior Princess. Xena had an awesome soundtrack. Now, Xena also had a musical episode, and that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking more about season 1, season 2, they had soundtracks, and the music from Xena, I just love. Obviously, that's a personal favorite of mine because I love Xena. I love the Xena theme song. Xena is awesome. Number 4, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has an awesome soundtrack. Have you guys listened to the Game of Thrones soundtrack? Because it is awesome. Like, literally, I'll put that on and each song is like better than the last. And until you get to the end, you're just like, oh, wait, it ended. Okay, now I have to start it all over again. The Game of Thrones soundtrack is just so awesome, and it also reminds me of those moments in Game of Thrones that I love. So some songs I'm like, oh, okay, this is where Jon Snow's on the wall and he's doing this, and it totally just brings me back to the show and the book, and it makes me so happy. I love Game of Thrones and I love the soundtrack. Bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. Seriously, it's the best theme song on television. Now, this next soundtrack was really hard for me to place in my top 5 because I love it, and then I think of my second and first choice and I'm like, so it has to be number 3, and I'm sorry because a lot of you guys would pick this as number 1, but number 3 is the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. I love the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. It's very calming, but then you also have those songs in there that totally like pump you up and you want to just go like lead an army to battle, you know? Because everyone wants to do that, right? I do. But Lord of the Rings has such an awesome theme song and soundtrack. If you guys have listened to the entire soundtrack, it is so epic. It's so epic and I love it. No copyright. Alright, number 2, and I'm super excited about number 2 because it is a newer soundtrack. It actually only came out, what, almost a year and a half ago. It is awesome and epic. It is the Skyrim soundtrack. The music in Skyrim is so epic. I listened to the entire soundtrack. You could be working out, you could just be getting some stuff done, or you could just be like laying around. But no, actually you can't just lay around when you listen to the Skyrim theme. See, I love Skyrim. I love playing the game. It obviously has to be on my epic medieval countdown because it's medieval and it's so epic. Kind of embarrassing, but I spent like 4 hours trying to learn Dragon Tongue so that I could sing the words. I still don't know it 100%, but I did spend a lot of time trying to learn it. That is such an awesome theme song. So good. I love Skyrim. Alright, and my number 1 and favorite soundtrack of all time, medieval or not medieval, epic or not epic, is Legend of Zelda soundtrack. Legend of Zelda has one of those soundtracks that I literally know every single song. If they had words, I'd be singing along to it. If you listen to other soundtracks and you don't know every single song, you're like, oh, I like 4 and 5 and 7 and 10. Legend of Zelda literally has such memorable music in the game. It's like you completely remember the songs from the game and you're like, okay, that's when I learned the Ocarina song for the Song of Storms. And my favorite song on the Legend of Zelda soundtrack is Gerudo Valley. I'm sorry, I know people like the main theme, but no, I'm all about the Gerudo Valley. It is such an epic song. The 25th anniversary Legend of Zelda concert CD is so good. I love that. I love it when they take music from a game and they just make it bigger, and it made that song so much more epic. I love it. I will play the Legend of Zelda soundtrack all day, every day, because I never get sick of it. I think Legend of Zelda has one of the best soundtracks for a video game, or pretty much out of all soundtracks of all time, because I love it. Every single song reminds you of the game and where you heard it for the first time, and since that was one of the first video games I ever played growing up and my favorite video game of all time, I had to pick it as my number 1 favorite epic medieval soundtrack. Well, there you have it. Top 5 5 epic medieval soundtracks. But I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of my top 5? And what are some of your favorite epic medieval soundtracks? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.